So producing a micro budget feature film is tough, and I thought what I'd do is put together my producing 101. So these are going to be some of the things you're going to come up against when you're producing a micro budget feature film and how to solve them, because solving problems on set is a huge part of your job as a producer. So number one, your job is not to panic. So what you've got to do is have a cool, calm demeanor at all times, especially when the wheels are falling off and things are going wrong. If you've got a producing partner, then by all means go off into a private space and panic together when things go wrong, but never do that in front of the crew, never do that in front of the cast. You've got to hold it together and you've got to look like you know what you're doing all the time, because your calm on that set will affect everybody, and everybody's looking to you to know that they're in a safe pair of hands and that everything's going well. Conflict. So you are going to have to deal with conflict on set, and this could be between a cast member and a crew member, it could be between the DP and the sound department. Conflict is going to arise on a film set, and the best way to handle that is, first of all, if it is quite a heated conflict, you need to dissipate that immediately, separate those people, and actually try and find out what the real problem is. Because often the problem isn't the thing that they're arguing about, they're disagreeing about, the problem is elsewhere. And if you can solve that problem, then what quickly happens is the actual thing they're arguing about becomes less important. You also need to identify what's at stake, and also when you're speaking to the person or the people who are in conflict, it's important to work out what it is they actually want, but also what's it going to take for us to get the train back on the tracks. Ask them, what do we need to do to get things rolling again? Which leads me into the next one, which is, it's not your job to protect egos. Now I know this is easy to say, especially if you've got somebody, a name, who's actually on your film. That can be tough because there is a little bit of ego protection there. But with everybody else, you're really there to protect the schedule, you're there to protect the budget, you're there to protect the film, and also the crew's and the cast's energy. So if anyone else's ego is pushing above that, then you need to do something about it. And I've been in this situation myself before, and I know a lot of filmmakers do, especially first-time directors might butt up against, say, a DP. And maybe the DP's got a bit of an ego about their particular role on the film, and that starts to cascade and have an effect on other departments. And I always bleat on about how important sound is, and oftentimes you can get a bit of friction between camera department, sound department, and camera department might think they're more important than sound, but everyone needs to understand that the film is the thing that's important, not one particular role. The movie is the sum of its parts. It's not, oh, the movie looks fantastic, so it's great. It's got to be all of it. One of the main problems you're going to come up against is time slipping, and this can happen for a number of reasons. It might be that you're overworking your crew and everyone's a little tired and low energy and things start to really slow down. So really be aware of that time slipping and be ready to pivot when you need to. And if you need to make a decision, what I would do is I'd have a quick huddle with your director. If you've got an assistant director, get them in and start to think about ways you can make up that time and get things back on track. The question really is, how can we simplify this? What can we cut? How can we keep things moving? And never make it about blame. It's not your fault because we're behind, because all that's doing is starting another conflict. What you're trying to do is you're trying to keep things moving forward. Unfortunately, you might end up working with difficult actors, and this can be really painful, especially if you've shot a load of stuff with them and you're completely dependent on them, and it can feel a bit like a power imbalance with that actor. I'd probably try to find out what the actual problem is if there's conflict with an actor, because it could be as simple as food. It could be that they're hungry, they've not been fed, and that's manifesting in them getting short-tempered or not really connecting with the director the way they should. So I'd look at the simple things first. They might need some reassurance, they might need somebody to listen to the problems they're having and feel reassured about the film. Or it might be a simple case of schedule clarity. So you've suddenly, because you've had this little huddle with your director and your assistant director and your DP, and you've decided to shoot things in a different order, They need to know that, and they need to understand that and have time to process that, because they're delivering a performance. So just asking them, hey, we're going to shoot that really emotional scene now that you thought we were doing next week, might not be enough time for them to get mentally prepared to give you that performance. Unfortunately, during a shoot, crew members are going to drop out. Things are going to happen in personal lives. You might lose a key person on that film. So again, you've got to be ready. I would go into that film having a backup list of contacts you can call if anything goes seriously wrong and you lose somebody who's vital to the production, because you want to keep moving. You want to have the network in place that you can bring somebody in if you need to keep the film moving. You're shooting on a micro budget, so you need to be flexible, and you've also got to get this ethos through all of the cast and crew that you're not looking for perfection. You're looking for a completed film. A completed film wins over perfection every day. Unfortunately, things are going to break, whether that's equipment or expensive props. They're going to smash. Things are going to get damaged. The important thing, again, don't go throwing blame around as the producer. It might be frustrating. Most of these things happen as an accident. They're not deliberate. The important questions to ask are things like, can this thing be replaced? Can we shoot around it? Does it have to be in the shot? Does this piece of equipment absolutely have to be used today? Can we cheat this at all with framing if it is a prop? And if you haven't got the solution, take yourself away for 5 minutes. Give everyone a break for 5 minutes so you've got time to think about a solution. Crew morale is super important, and remembering that the people on that film do that job because they love filmmaking. So you want to make that environment on that set as light and as fun as possible, so that everybody's enjoying themselves making the film and it doesn't feel like work. And that can be as simple as thanking people or telling them they're doing a good job while you're making that film, and actually expressing what you love that they've done that day, because that'll really give them a sense of satisfaction in what they're doing, and it will make them look forward to showing up the next day. Being a good producer is about knowing that you don't need to have all the answers. You've got a lot of people on that set who've got a lot of expertise in different fields that you can chat to and you can come up with solutions to problems with. So you don't need all of the answers. What you do need to be is calm, be able to have these conversations, think about things rationally, put the film first, getting that film done first, leave the egos behind, and try to minimize conflict. And if a problem comes up, you take the time to think about the best solution for the movie. Remember, anyone can be a good producer when things are going well, but when things are going badly, it's probably the worst job to have on set. So think about what I've said. I hope that comes in handy. Please do put your tips for being a good producer in the comments below. Let me know what I've missed. I'm sure I've probably missed a lot. If you're about to make your first feature film as producer, good luck. Let me know how you got on, and I'll see you on the next one.